Hi guys, welcome back to another Daily Tarot card. These are your Daily Tarot cards for Tuesday, December 27th, 2022. Today we're pulling from the Wild Unknown Tarot cards. So we have Judgment. This has been a very strong card with us for the past week. A rebirth in our life. We see this peace, but they're saying that a healing that may take a sacrifice, we're getting the devil in reverse. So it's like, person, place, or thing. So they're saying place. So maybe it's somewhere where you live and it's just like, it's just in order to push you forward, you know? And sometimes we're afraid to leave the security of our home. I know I am. It's like I made that mistake before and it's just like something I regret. But it's just like, okay, now we've learned from this, desperation, you know what I mean? Like I did it because I was desperate for peace. So it's just like now, it's just like, well, I could take my time. I could thoroughly look through places, you know what I mean? I can make those decisions. So it's just like, you know, going through, doing something that'll be beneficial. You know what I mean? We have the Ace of Pentacles here. So Ace for me is always, I'm always going to remember Storm from Below Deck Mediterranean. He was working hard to become a bosun. He got the opportunity. He was promoted to a temporary bosun position. And he's like, I'm excited to climb this mountain. It's like, we don't know what this is going to bring. Like, it becomes new challenges. You know what I mean? So how are we going to perform in these challenges? Are we going to rise to the occasion, or do we need to go back to, maybe we need to learn for another year or so? You know what I mean? Like but at least he was excited. He's just like, I'm excited for this adventure. I'm excited to see where this brings me. You know what I mean? And it's just like when you want something, it's just like you're willing to, blood, sweat, and tears. Like, work is always number one. We have Temperance, balancing our emotions. We are in double Capricorn, so there is that balance there. With doubles, same sign. But new moon, retrograde, do a meditation. Call. We had chakra cleansing. If you do are subscribed, you see all the little short stories that come on there. So when these cards come up in my feeds, I'm like, you know what? This could be for the tribe. So I always screenshot it. I'm like, chakra cleansing makes so much sense. We're heading into a retrograde. You know what I mean? It's just like, how many times I sit there and it's just like, I remind you guys, do your meditation, it's coming. And I sat there and I forget to do mine. I just don't pencil it in. You know what I mean? Like I'm sitting there on my phone for hours watching TikToks. I'm watching, shows. It's like I could have taken, 20, 30 minutes out to meditate. I just chose not to. I didn't put my energy in the right places. I woke up this morning, called back all my energy. You know what I mean? It's like, what are we doing to make sure that we're not affected so deeply by this? Deborah Silverman said our Libras are going to go through this retrograde. So it's like, I feel like it's going to be heavily emotional. We have fire evaporating the tears of the heron, but it's like, on the other side, water can put out fire. You know what I mean? But it's like finding that equilibrium. You know what I mean? I feel like that yin and yang, and I definitely get that with the Justice card here. The Magician, we have the experience to go through this. I feel like we have 25% more to heal, 25% more to this journey, and we're complete. It's like, don't stop at 75%. Let's completely heal this so this never affects us again. You know what I mean? So I feel like we're taking a risk as we move forward. You know what I mean? I feel like it's just like leaving that devil behind. We're attached to a place because it's comfortable. It's secure. It offers safety. You know what I mean? But I feel like his spirit is like, plunge forward. You know what I mean? Even though this feels safe, it's like you want more. Like we want more square footage in the bedrooms like we had before. You know what I mean? Like I even said that to my mom last night. It's like, if I could get the same layout that I had either at Barty Bog or the Mold and Mouse house with minus the garbage, I'm like, with no harm to none. It's like, that's what I would like for us, where they have enough room for their, their desk, they have enough room for their bed and all their stuff, and it's just like they have enough room to do like a setup for their, one does stop motion. I don't know if the other one's gonna get back into it, but it's like, just their space. You know what I mean? And it's just like, that's something that is my goal right now. That's what I'm concentrating on right now. That's what I want for this year, as we go into 2023. So it's just like, I feel like everything is happening the way it should. Is I'm blessed with my full-time job, because it's like it took the desperation out of readings. It's like when they come, you know what I mean? It's just like, you know what I mean? It's not so much desperation, it's just so much like, that anxiety. It's just like, when is the next, reading going to come in, or anything like that. And it's just like, I could literally sit there and stop doing this, and it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? That's why I know I'm passionate about. I know I'm passionate about the way that I talk about it, the way I devote myself to certain things, and bettering myself, and my skills and everything like that. You know what I mean? But I'm able to be a pure reader because it's like the money aspect of it is taken out. You know what I mean? Because it's like, yeah, you guys are paying me to do a reading, but at the same time, it's just like, where I sit there and, it's like, you're loyal, I give you a loyalty price. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it goes back to what it truly is about, and it's amazing. And I even said that to myself. If I truly didn't want to do this, if it was all about money, I could have just been like, oh, you know what, it's not worth it. But I'm seeing like knockings of this and that, and I know, like, even in my dreams, it's like coming. It's like, I'm going to be stronger than this indigenous man that was in my dream, and I'm just like, what the heck? You know what I mean? He's like, you're going to be stronger than me, and it's just like, he was going, like, talking about Shane's passing and everything like that, and it was just, it was crazy. It's just like how dreams stay with you. You know what I mean? It's just like, when they really impact you in that way. But, I feel like that's where it's just like we're going deep within. And it's like, what do you really want as you move forward? And I feel like it you know what I mean? It's like all these connections I have with the tribe that, they know they could come to me and talk to me. I told them, like, if I don't answer you, it's just because I'm busy. It's not that I'm ignoring you or anything like that. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But it's just like, that's what I love about this. It's like I read for people from all walks of life, and they teach me so many things, young and elder. It's just, the broad spectrum. But that's what I was even saying to my, like, like, it's like, what a beautiful gift, the passion that you have for something. You know what I mean? It's just nothing like it. So justice, I feel like, again, that yin and yang, coming in. But they're saying that devil card, there's something we have to release here, or you're ready to release it. It's just like, for me with Shane, it's just not even so much releasing him, it's just so much releasing the journey. It's like, I've learned everything that I can from this. I'm stronger than I ever thought, and I know that's because of God. That wasn't me. I will give credit to him. I was on autopilot. The whole time we were waiting to move to New Brunswick, I was on autopilot. I give all credit and glory to God. I will not take credit for things that I did not do. You know what I mean? Even with readings, I even say that as well. It's like, I will not take credit for that. They blessed me. They show me, and I'm just, telling you what I see, telling you what I hear, telling you what I feel. I will not take credit for things that are blessed to me. But I'm really excited for 2023 because it's just like, you know what I mean? It's just like, I could definitely feel that I've grown as a healer a lot. You know what I mean? I feel like I've been more potent since August. So I feel like a lot of healers probably feel that way. They could, you could see, especially in readings, you could tell the difference. Where it resonates more is exactly what they're saying. But it's just like anything. The more you put into it, the better it gets. But I feel like with this justice card, they're saying like a sacrifice. So I know for us, it was just like, I was like, I could either hang on to this money, but I knew how much a dog would change my kids' lives. And I'm just like, bring that unconditional love into the home. He came right around when Shane's passing anniversary was. So I'm grateful for the fact that he was in our life. And it just worked out. It just turned out the person that, was looking for a rehome dog was really picky. And we were so very lucky to get him. Because she could have easily taken him. And it was just like, nope, she didn't want him. And we were lucky that we got Sonny. He's been a big, huge blessing in our life. He's a good dog, It's just like, this is a reflective time, being grateful. But I feel like with this temperance, it's just balancing our emotions. It's an emotional time. Like I said, new moon, retrograde. It's just, you know what I mean? This opportunity came into my life, and it's really changed my life. Sometimes, I love the people I work with and everything, but it's just like sometimes it's just the people that you work for, not the people you work for, but the people that you're helping. It's just like ugh. But I feel like that's like in any industry. It's just like some people are just, they can make you laugh like to the point of tears, where you're just like, you don't want to let them go, to stop talking to them but you have to, you're a place of service, so you have to. But you know what I mean? It's just, it's amazing. It truly is amazing how, it's just like you think, or you don't even think, you don't even know. You're just like, not even questioning, but it's just like, how am I going to move forward? You know what I mean? It's just like, how does, what do I do now? You know what I mean? And it's just like this huge thing just comes in, and it's just like, it's scary. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's one thing, like when I get into the definitions, is fear. You know what I mean? Like with mine, I was just like, oh my gosh, this ain't going to work out. I'm not the most technically savvy person. Anything I've learned, Shane taught me, So it's just like, I'm just grateful, that I am where I am. And I'm sure like a lot of us are like that, you know what I mean? It's just, it's scary, but, I'm just excited for 2023 to see what it brings. You know what I mean? I feel like it's just, being bigger than your fear, being fearless, even with when they said place, it's like, I understand what they're talking about. It's like, yeah, I could stay here till a certain amount of time, but it's like at the same time, it's just like the things that we want, For me, I would feel more secure living by our doctors and everything like that. You know what I mean? I'm sure a lot of people feel that way, being in a place where it's like, if I need X, Y, or Z, it's there. Being close to the post office, drugstores, supermarkets, and everything, it's important. You know what I mean? It's just, that whatever you need for, especially when you have family, it's just like, it's important to be in a certain distance to get everything, So I feel like that's the that is the biggest thing for us. But as long as we're together, that's all that matters, But I feel like, again, like that desperation. Maybe that's what they're talking about here. It's just like, I feel like the reason why I feel like desperation is just because, like, as a single person, you know what I mean, taking care of a family, it's just like, you know what money means to your family, you know what I mean? So it's just like to come to a point of healing where I'm able to handle more and more, is amazing. So I just cannot wait to see, I'm excited. And I feel like, even like for the longest time, and I even now, I keep it small. I keep it for what I could, about today, not about next week or the week. When I get into that, it gives me anxiety. So it's just like, just be excited for this moment, It's like, what does it bring you? This whole year, all the positive things that have come in, Some of you are starting a journey of healing, a journey of like, a recovery, from because maybe a relationship has broken up or something like that. But it's just like, sometimes you don't understand it at the moment, but in time you will understand why it was removed from your life. You'll understand why you needed to move forward. Right now you don't, because you're in the rock of it. Your head knows, but it's your heart that needs to catch up. Once your heart catches up and understands, things will change. You will change. You won't even recognize who you were before. So we start with judgment with forgiveness. And I feel like it's forgiving of ourselves. Like, you know what I mean? And that's one thing, like, Spirit has kindly reminded me of, is like everything I've ever needed has come into my past and Shayna's past. It's just like, I could handle babysitting because I enjoy kids. I enjoy artwork, crafts with the kids. I would have been a great, like, kindergarten teacher, or like that's actually where I did my volunteer work in high school, was junior kindergarten. I think I went up to grade 3. Like, that's something I should have, you know what I mean? But it's just like, at the same time, it's like, I'm this creative spirit, I wanted to be a tattoo artist. I just, financially, I just couldn't take the time to do it, you know what I mean? Or if I didn't come across anyone that was doing it where I could be like, hey, do you know anyone that's will let me do apprenticeship or anything like that, So it's just like, there's so many things, but it's just like, I'm happy where I landed. So the word judgment conjures up fear and guilt in many people. So this card, so when we talk about judgment, like, we always think about the biblical term, where it's just like, when we think of judgment, it's like the resurrection. It's like everything you've ever done wrong in your life is laid on the table. You know what I mean? And it's just like, you have to answer for those things. Maybe you already have. I feel like some of us answer for it while we're here. because we come to this consciousness like what we did was not um in good taste. And it's just like, even though you're not able, or it's just like you're fearful of asking for forgiveness, putting it out to the universe to like forgive me for all the bull crap I've ever done. You know what I mean? And somehow, some way, you've paid for those, things. You know. This card, however, conjures itself in another aspect of things: word seeking the truth. No more blaming yourself or others. No more excuses. Now is the time for forgiveness and personal freedom. This card asks you to raise up and let pettiness and fear fall below you. Expand your wings and be reborn. What a relief it will be. So I love the fact of personal freedom. You know what I mean? And I felt like that's what this job it did for me, because like, it gave me that personal freedom, because it's just like I'm a hard worker. I show up every day. It doesn't matter if I have a cold or not. It's just like, showing up and working. You know what I mean? Because I know and it's like, this is who I am. Everybody's different. It's just like when other people are not there, it's like I can see what a difference it does make. You know what I mean? Like, or like, it's like someone was like, oh, I'm not feeling well, I might dip out. And it's like, it's like, can you tough it out? You know what I mean? Because it does make a difference, But at the same time, it's just like, you don't want to push anyone. Like, I would never say like, oh, like I was grateful, to one person. They were like, oh, I'm not feeling the best. I was like, can you put a heating pad on? Maybe you'll feel better. You know what I mean? Like, they're like myself. They've never called out, and she did. She toughed it out. And I'm like, oh, thank God. Like, she was able to stay, because, it does make a difference, but I feel like that personal freedom for me, you know what I mean? It's just like, even like with babysitting, just the area we live in, you know what I mean? It was just like, it was far and few between, and now our area has gotten more populated. A lot more people from Ontario moved here. Of course, now that I have this, it's like everyone's like, hey, are you still babysitting? I was like, no. They're like, what? I'm like, no, donated all my stuff. Sorry. No. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's just too much, Like, I understand like daycare charges a lot less, but because they get paid by the government. But the thing is, at the same time, it's just like, you know where your child is going. You know who it is. You know what I mean? Like, they're getting one-on-one care rather than a room full of snotty-nosed children. You know what I mean? So it's just like, not like I was asking for an arm and a leg either. You know what I mean? So, but I get it though. You know what I mean? If I'm able to pay $10 a day, rather than paying what I'm paying a week, you know what I mean? Paying $50 a week rather than paying what they're paying me, I understand. So it's like, I understand it. You know what I mean? That's why I never could get mad at it. It's like, I've always been on the other side of things, just like, with healing. It's like, I understand not everybody can afford a reading when they want a reading. I was on the other side of things. That's why I do daily tarot cards. That's why I do forecasts and projections. Because I understand, because I was on the other side of things. It's like, I just wanted answers. I still listen to other healers. They resonate with me. I watch them, until they don't resonate with me anymore. I'm just like, oh, I'll take a break. There was a reason why I was drawn to them. You know what I mean? And if they still don't resonate, then I move on. A lot of people are like that. That's why I always am appreciative of the people that are been loyal for years and years, or even just one reading. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm always appreciative of it. But it's just like, that's what I love about it, because it's like, on one hand, it's like, I don't have to do this anymore. But at the other hand, it's just like, I want to do this. I'm excited to see what the forecasts and projections bring. I'm excited to see what the dailies bring, So prosperous beginnings. In the center of every giant redwood tree is a tiny seedling. Once stood. So seedling, they talked about that yesterday. I felt like a birth of a child. I felt like, we talk about seed, talk about the man's seeds. You know what I mean? Like, not trying to get too graphic, but I felt like, you may end up carrying another child. You're probably like, oh my gosh, I'm long in the tooth or whatever. And it's just like, I keep getting knockings of that. Such is the energy of the Ace of the Pentacles. It's the seed that takes root, grounding you for the future. You're in the beginning phases of a prosperous venture. Stay grounded. Go outside and take time to appreciate nature. You may also find a windfall of wealth heading your way. With no harm to none, and so it is. You know what I mean? I definitely feel like, things come into your life, I'm sure some of you could speak, like, there's always been some sort of influx somewhere, somehow, unexpectedly. Not, you didn't do it because of that, or you didn't expect that, or you know what I mean. You are who you are, and but it's like those things find their way to you because those things were meant for you. Temperance, healing, and renewal. And that's what I mean. Like, there's 25% of this healing needing to take place for this renewal to come in. The giant blue herring remains calm and peaceful as she blends the opposite elements of fire and water. The temperance card asks you to be as moderate, much like the heron. Focus on cooperation and compromise. If you've been excessive in one aspect of your life, patience, self-resistance, and moderation now. So it's just like, all of us have been probably, spending for Christmas, with like treats and for the dinners and all that good stuff. So it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, things come in, but it's just like, we know hydro is going to go up because of Christmas lights and running the heat and everything like that. But it's just like, on the other side, February, they're supposed to double tax it. So it's like, Canada, they're getting double GST. Oh, we're going to help you guys out. It's like, yeah, until you put us over a barrel in February. So it's just like, I feel like that's where it's preparation for this. You'll find a new sense of healing and balance from bringing a little harmony back into your life. I feel like it's also, like I said, like with me, it's like being around a lot of people. You know what I mean? It's just like sitting there and it's just like calling back in your power, calling back in your energy. You know what I mean? Sitting there and just protecting your energy, sitting there and taking time for yourself. Maybe it was taking a nap, today. Maybe like you already did all your Christmas parties and stuff like that. So it's like the downtimes, it's like taking a nap, rejuvenating yourself, because before you know it, we're back to it. The Magician. You possess all the elements, the combination of elements. You can go to what is it called? astrocafe.com. If you put Astro Cafe and then put natal chart in Google, they will sit there and ask you for your name, your birth date, and the time when you were born. And they will show you how many combination of elements you have. You'll be, with myself, I was really shocked because I'm very sensitive. I was like, I'm going to have tons of water. I'm an emotional creature. I'm mostly fire. And I thrive in fire, especially Aries. So this Magician card is about boundless, expansive energy, self-empowerment, action. Whereas many of the major arcana cards deal with stillness and aspects of the mind, this color is all about action, action, action. And I feel like that's what they were saying with myself. It's just like, like I said, I could stay here for, because there's no reason for me not to stay here. You know what I mean? Like, my mom's around here and everything. But at the same time, it's better for us if we move closer to town because, like, my mom is getting older. She's in very great health, thank God, by the grace of God. But it's just like, at the same time, it's just like, you know what I mean? It's just like, I feel like we could do, like, we're nature people. We love going to the beach and stuff like that. But it's just like, at the same time, it's like healing farm. The boys can be around their homeschooling friends more. They can, you know what I mean? We could go to like bowling and stuff like that. I feel like we could do things more on a whim being there than here because it's like you have to drive 35 minutes to go in. You know what I mean? By the time you get there, you're just like, it's like, who really wants to make that kind of drive? You know what I mean? Where there, you could be more spontaneous and do these things. Hey, like, we're not doing nothing tomorrow. Hey, let's go out. Let's go do this tonight, So it's like you could be more spontaneous. It's time to see yourself as the wildcat. Embrace your speed, grace, and abilities. Don't be afraid to begin. And I feel like that's what it is. The biggest thing is we're fearful of things. Like you like someone, you're afraid of telling them because they'll push you back. You're afraid to make moves because it was the wrong move before. But like, I feel like that's where they're talking about forgiveness was the first card of the judgment. It's like our judgment would have been askew before with myself is because I couldn't think straight. I was in this widow fog. I was just looking for peace. I was just looking for, that place to heal. And I finally found it. And it's just like, when that fog lifted, it's like I was able to think clearly again. What a gift that was just to wake up and I'm like, whoa, it's gone. Like, it just, you know what I mean? When you have that haze, it sucks. You have the power of all four elements in your reach. Now is the time to use them. So maybe it's just like you're wanting to make a change in your life, you know what I mean? And it's like now is the time to do so. You know what I mean? Don't take the new year as the year is ending. Like some for this time of the year could be hard for people. And it's just like take it one day at a time. Go outside, go for a walk. You know, maybe get a journal, purge, you know, maybe, you know, I know it's a little colder, so it's just like do something. Maybe you woos out. Maybe you smoke a little bit of grass and you know what I mean? Have a warm cup of coffee. Purge your feelings. You'll feel a lot better. Look for a therapist. Go to the gym. Do things that get your body moving. Get your energy moving. Staying stagnant and sleeping, it's like, yeah, sometimes we do need to sleep. I can, you know what I mean? I always sit there and tell myself when I'm really emotional, I'm like, did I get enough sleep? First thing I say to myself, did I get enough sleep? If I didn't, it's like, okay, let's sleep and let's see what happens. You know, I was going to bed early and I just couldn't sleep. I was just, you know, restless. You know what I mean? And it's just like when I finally got that deep sleep, I was a lot better. It's just like sometimes when you have restless sleeps, it doesn't help. With the tails entwined, two cats look directly at you, waiting for you to choose between them. Which is the right or wrong choice? So yesterday we got that yin and yang balance with the judgment card. You know what I mean? She was in a white robe. So what do we traditionally happen in a wedding? With the white purity of her gown, she was, you know what I mean? The yin and he was the yang. But, you know, you think of a wedding, it's the same thing. He's traditionally in a black tuxedo. She's traditionally in a white dress. But I feel like because the dress was shorter, maybe she was married before. You know what I mean? Or they've already have children. When it's not that traditional big white gown. Or maybe they're just not, they're showing like Carrie and Big, where they went to City Hall. They're not people that want to have a big, you know, thing going on. The Justice card implies a weight of or heaviness surrounding a choice you make. Now is not the time to shun the concept of divine balance or karma. All of your choices affect your life, and sometimes the lives of those around you, both now and forever in the future. So I feel like, you know, in the sense of like a parent or a guardian, or it's like the choice you make affects others. I truly believe if someone wants to be in your life, they will respect the fact that your choices don't just affect you, it affects many other aspects. You know what I mean? So if they don't want to, you know what I mean, they're just like, oh, it's either me or them. It's like, oh, bye. Should never have to be a choice. That is a part of you. We all don't want to be defined by anything. I never just want to be defined as a mom. Even though it's the biggest honor and title I ever wear in my life. That's not just who I am. I'm just like a widow. I'm not defined just by being a widow. You know what I mean? It was a journey I had to go through. It showed me how strong I really am. But I give all the glory to God because, like I said, I was a robot there from the time that of Shane's passing and, you know, ceremony and everything like that. It's just like, you know, until we moved, it was just like I was on autopilot. Some days were better than others, you know, but I knew how to get a job done. You know, I knew I had to get that place all packed up and, you know, donating stuff and all the shush bub that went around with it, finding a new place and everything. It's like, you know, I don't wish that on my worst enemy. That is the most horrible time of my life. But at the same time, it showed, you know, what resilience my children have. As long as they had my back. What do you need, Mom? Do you need our help? You know what I mean? Even nowadays, they sit there, hey, do you need help? Like, you know, they're helping me shovel the snow and everything. You know what I mean? I'm very grateful for them. They see, like, you know, Mom's, like, doing this and doing that. It's like, hey, takes us 5 minutes. All three of us work together. It'll get done that much faster. The faster we're inside into a warm house. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you know, I feel like that's where it's just like, it doesn't just affect you. And if someone truly, if this isn't a love kind of relationship or like what they're saying it affects others, if someone is coming into your life and it's like, if they cannot see that or respect that, it doesn't need to be a part of you. That should be the biggest tall tale to you yet. You know what I mean? This is a part of who I am. This is a part of me. Like I said, it's the biggest honor I will ever bestow upon me in my life is to be a mother to those children. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you know, I wanted children. I wanted to be a mom. By the grace of God, I was lucky enough to become a mom. You know what I mean? Because not everybody is blessed enough to have that ability. You know, thank God for, you know, God blessing people with the knowledge and the science of, IVF and everything. You know what I mean? It's just, it's the biggest honor you will wear in your life. For someone to look at you and love you unconditionally and be like, that's my mom, that's my dad, that's my parent. You know what I mean? Like, when you can sit there and say wholeheartedly you love someone like that, it's a huge honor. You know what I mean? It's, that's what I'm saying. If this is in a love way, I'm not sure if they're just, I don't think they're saying me or them. I don't know. But it's just like, this is something that has to be a decision together. It can't be just, one-sided, or you just thinking with, your nether regions. You have to be, until the day you leave this earth. Even when you leave this earth, I feel like you're still a parent, It's like you got to sit there and think about everyone else, not just yourself. I hope you guys enjoyed these daily tarot cards for Tuesday, December 27th, 2022. May the universe bless you good. We'll see you for the next daily tarot card.